All right. Well, first things first. What is your name and where are you from and where are you currently?
My name is Valeria. I'm from Italy. I live in Turin. I'm actually in Turin now.
Okay, nice. And where did you start the Camino and then where did you finish?
Okay, actually, I divided it in two because for my work, I had to take some two parts.
Okay.
The first part I did last year, not this year. I went from Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port, this is the start of the French Camino, and I stopped myself at Carillon de los Condes, which is
Hmm.
at almost half the way, almost. And then this year I completed it. I went to Santiago from Carillon.
And did you go to Finisterra or Muxia? Did you end up doing that extra little bit?
No, I didn't. I didn't because I thought I didn't have time, but actually I did have time, but not this year. Maybe in the future. In the future for sure.
That's exactly what I said because I was going to do it, but then I decided I was like, maybe I'll take advantage and like go travel around. So I didn't end up going. So you said you did half and then you did a second half, right? I think a lot of people who
Yes.
live in Europe tend to do it that way, right? Because of the vacation.
I don't know. Maybe some Spanish tend to do it that way because it's near, so it's simple to have some days you can do some days walking the Camino and then stop yourself and then taking it again. But actually, people, at least from Italy, I know people from Italy, they tend to do it all the way, or all the
Hmm.
way, or just a few kilometers left, the last ones.
Like the last 100?
It's unusual. Yeah, like the last 100 or maybe some more from Lyon. Uh, it's actually unusual to do two ways because nobody that I know said to me, "Yeah, I did the first part and then I have the patience to wait a year to do the other part." So
And like, was this your first time like doing anything on the Camino or had you done other things on the Camino?
no, not on the Camino. We had many Caminos in Italy, but they are shorter. They last maybe 3 to 5 days.
Oh, okay.
I did that once, but not something so long.
Oh, because I know there's one that you start. I can't remember if it's from Rome to somewhere else, but it's like it takes like
The other way around.
yeah, so
Yeah, there's the French region. Yes, there's from Canterbury to Rome,
yes.
but very long. It's 100 kilometers and more.
I
So
think it's 1,000. I think it's like 200 and something more.
1,000, yes, sorry.
No, it's
Yeah,
okay.
more than
Yeah,
100.
yeah. I think it's a because I was interested in that, but everyone tells me it's a little more complicated and it's a little harder. But
Yeah,
have you done any part of
yeah,
that
you
one?
should have. From Turin, the way passes. So I did some kilometers, but it's not so organized as the Camino. You don't have albergue, you don't have services, so you pass from big cities, but it costs a lot.
Yeah, that's what everyone said that it costs a lot and that like you have to like the
Yes,
Camino you don't have to plan. Like you can kind of just go.
no,
Not here. Yeah.
yeah,
That's what I heard. Is there one in
no,
Italy
no.
that you would
You have to plan.
yes, that's what I heard. Is there one maybe one of those shorter ones that you would suggest to someone to do?
Maybe it's very famous, but I didn't do it via the day, which is from Bologna to Florence,
No, okay.
and I did the one in Lake Como. You go all the way from the bottom to the top of the Lake Como, which is really good. It's 5 days.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So you're like an experienced like long walker kind of thing, right?
Yeah, no, actually, it's a walk from 3 to 5 days. So I do a lot of mountains, yes. So I'm a bit prepared, but I don't think that if you want to do the Camino, you have to be an experienced walker. you can be anything you want, actually.
Yeah.
You can take 10 kilometers a day, like 40 kilometers a day. It's on your body. You
Yeah.
decide.
Definitely. I agree. I'm just asking because like I really didn't train for it at all. I didn't really know what it was. I just kind of went, which is very funny. But I know that people who tend to be from Europe, like Italy and France and Spain, they tend to already know about the Camino. Like you knew what it was, right?
Yeah, yeah, but actually, I find out that I didn't know exactly what it was because when I did the first part, I thought that it was like the Italian one. So if you are a sporty person, you go, you walk, you see beautiful sights, and then I went there and I found out that it is not. It's like another experience. It's more like it's not the sporty the sporty part the center of the Camino. It's like your thinking, your ability to slow things down.
Mm,
It's another experience. I don't know, actually I can't describe it to you.
yeah.
It's something that you go on the Camino and you feel in that place.
Yeah, I think it's like a mental experience as well because you don't really have, like you
Yeah.
said, you don't have to be athletic, right? You don't have to be like a sporty person.
No.
It's more
Yes.
about like, and it's a lot of socializing. I don't know if that kind of threw you off as well
Yeah.
because it threw me
Yeah,
off.
yeah, a lot, a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, because see, in my mind, what I wanted to do was a pilgrimage, because I recently became Catholic. So I was like, okay, this would be like a good experience for me to see what Catholic people do. That's what I was thinking. So I was like, okay, I will walk. I'm gonna be praying. I'm gonna be alone. And I'm like, I'm never alone. Like it's like, you have to really leave
Yeah.
really, really early or leave later than everybody else. I would leave really early so that I could have time by myself. And I realize it's a big it's talking about things, kind of figuring out your mind. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? That's like a central part. Like it's a lot of personal growth. I think that's a good way to kind of title it. But the feeling is very unique, right? Because I mean I did hikes, but like I'm from LA, so we do like fake hikes. Like we hike for like an hour and then we go home and like have a coffee. So I'm not athletic. I went to the gym, but it's nothing to do with that. I think anyone can really do it. You just have to be willing to keep going. And we'll get into that a little bit more. So you've done the Camino Frances. Would you be willing to do the Camino Frances again?
Maybe not the French one. Maybe another one, the Portuguese or the Primitivo, not the French one.
Yeah, I think I would like to do the Portuguese. That's the one I'm looking into doing next. I'm not against doing the Camino Frances again because like I had such a unique experience. I'm sure it'll be completely different.
Yeah.
Because I started from St. Jean as well. But like I know I didn't meet you till later, but I was lost like the whole first week. And I like fell and got hurt. I mean, I think you saw part of that because the second half I also fell and got hurt like a million times. Like I was just like such a rough experience that I'm interested in what it would be like the second time now that I kind of understand what the idea is about. But I'm really interested in the Frances. Um, I mean, in the Portuguese. So it's one I want to do next. Everyone says it's
Okay.
so beautiful. So I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Me
Um,
too. I want to do it.
yeah, maybe we'll go together. We can make a plan. Because I'm always like everyone
Yeah.
keeps saying, I'm like, okay, we need to plan it, then I'll go. Because it's kind of nice
Yeah.
because you can have a group and it doesn't mean like you guys are like stuck together. It's like, okay, I walk a little bit
No.
alone, I walk a little bit there. Actually, why don't we talk about that? Because when I met you, I saw you like consistently with a group of people. And did you know any of those people beforehand, or did you meet them while you were on the Camino?
No. No. I met it on the Camino.
Mm. Mm.
Everyone on the Camino.
And I
But
think,
actually, it was like you said. Is we work together sometimes, but in some times of the day when someone wants to work alone, they do, and sometimes when they want to sleep in another albergue, they did. So it wasn't like a strict group of people.
yeah, but you guys did kind of like always have dinner together and kind of see each other and stuff like that. Because
Yeah,
I noticed that. Because the one time I think I don't think I saw you very much walking. I don't remember seeing you a lot walking. I remember seeing you a couple times. Also, I would leave like super early and get lost, and so I would miss half the people. Um, and then, but I do remember seeing you like at dinner time when like we're all in the little town. That's when I remember seeing you more.
I
And
I took the bus a lot. No, no,
oh,
no, I was
really? No, because there are some
I
people who
was
are,
joking.
and that I'm gonna have that
No,
conversation.
no, no, not me.
I know you were walking. I remember because you're one
No.
of the people you're with was very tall and you're kind of short. You're like more my height, I think. So I just remember I'd be like, "Oh, there they are," and then you just keep walking, or like I would see that. So that's how I remembered you. And then I finally spoke to you. I think I can't remember what town, but it's that town with one of the nice bridges. And like
Yeah, I don't remember actually.
I
It
remember when
was
I met you.
yeah, we were like, "You're Valeria." Yes, you're Valeria. It
I
was
remember because that
confusing but
day is
fun.
it's one of those days that we have a lot of downhill to get to the town, but then you keep going.
Ah, okay.
And I ran, and then
Yeah,
I came, and
yeah,
I was like, so like, I was like, oh, hi, everybody. And then I went because Piero was with you. Oh, I'm not supposed to say the names. I'm sorry. The one of the people I was with a lot.
yeah,
It's okay. He's gonna do an interview, so
yeah, yeah.
people will meet him later.
Okay.
But he was there with you guys, and he told me like, oh, I met a group of Italian people. Come over here, and then we'll walk to the town together. And so he had told me
It was
about
the
you.
first time. Okay. It was the first time we met him actually. We found out we found him in a bar, and it was the first time that I ever saw him in the Camino.
Well, he started in Leon.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But the first time that I saw him
Yeah.
was in that bar.
Oh,
So
really?
maybe
That's so funny.
5 minutes before you. Yes.
That's so funny. Because all I know is I was
Yeah.
texting him and he told me like I just met a group of Italian people and he was like so happy. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna find you because I'm like, I don't want to walk alone for the second half. And I was like running, 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 running. And I got there and I was like so like hyper. I just remember that. And then you're like, hi, I'm Valeria. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're Valeria, me too. And like I feel so bad. I'm just sometimes I feel like I'm too much. And then that's when I
No,
met
no.
you. And then I was like, wait, but then I swore like I had seen you before because I had seen you and never spoken to you because I recognized your face. Like I recognized your because one's tall and you're short. So I was like, oh, I know that face and I know her, but I don't know if like maybe we had stayed in the same albergue together or like maybe ate in the same
Maybe.
area. And I just was like, but I've never spoken to her. So then it was nice to then talk to you because then now we know each other. So then I would be like, hi, like when I would see you.
Yes.
And like I feel like that's the a lot of my group, they were more serious people. And I was more
We
like
don't.
not. And I would always be like, hi. And they're like, why do you, like, why are you saying hi? I'm like, we keep seeing them. It's like basically we're family. And they're like, all right, whatever, Valerie. And I'd be like, hi to everybody. And they're like, you've never spoken to them. I'm like, well, we know each other. I'm like, it's a Camino thing. You kind of know everybody. Um, but I remember that. I feel like that's an interesting phenomenon as well. You know people who you do not know. Like I knew
Yes.
you,
Yeah, that's true.
but
Yes.
I really didn't know you. And like even this is like
Yeah, I
the
know.
even now, I don't know how long we've been talking. I think it's the longest conversation we've had. Um, Probably because it was
Maybe,
always
yes.
short. I remember we would talk, I would find you and talk to you like here and there, but it was much shorter times. And like it was just because we were kind of in two different groups. And so like, but I would always like greet you and like say hello because I don't know, that's how I am. But
Yes.
and I love another Valerie, and I feel like we kind of look like each other. We have glasses. We're both kind of short, and we're cute. It's like okay, like I'm like I like this Valerie. Okay,
Friendly, yes.
exactly. And I was like, oh, okay. And then okay, so I feel like there's two things you hear a lot on the Camino, right? You hear like Buen Camino, right? All day,
Yeah,
Buen
buen camino.
Camino, Buen
Hola.
Camino. And
Hola,
then
buen camino.
and then the second thing you hear a lot is when you're walking with someone, they generally, or if you sit down with anybody, they usually then ask you why you chose to do the Camino. So that's my next
A
question
lot.
for you. Why did you choose to do the
Okay.
Camino?
Okay. So, long story short, actually, the first part, I didn't plan anything. It was like, it was a period of stress. I always wanted to do that. I, um, I just left my job and the from the day from in I planned I bought the flight to Saint Jean, not to Saint Jean, but a city near Saint Jean, like the day before, and I went straight on.
Oh
It
wow.
was like, yeah, let's do it. So
Was it
I was waiting. Yes, yes, tell me.
was it for like a certain reason, or was it just something you felt like you're like, I'm over this job, I want to get out of here, or did something happen, or
No, it was it was nothing happened actually, but it was like a stressful period of my life. So not just for the job, but for many reasons,
yeah,
and I wanted to like uh,
escape?
go escape. Yes, yes. And I just did okay. Let's bought a flight and do it already. It's something that I've never done it in my life. Like actually, I always plan everything, and it was like, yeah, now it's not the time of my life. I want to do something not planned, and I didn't know how much of the Camino I will do it. So I didn't plan to stop on Carrion de los Condes and do the next part
Okay.
on another year. Because I know that they were like to call me for another job in Italy.
Yeah.
I waited for the call, but in the meantime, I did think about just start the Camino and see what will happen.
Yeah. That's interesting. Kind of how far you can
So
go. Yeah, I think
yeah, I just went.
I have a little bit of a similar experience. Like a big thing for me was I did not plan anything. I didn't know
Hmm.
anything. And I'm very someone who I like to research everything. I like to have my days planned. I like to kind of know what I'm doing. Like in my normal life, I have an agenda. Everything is like written out very clearly. But I feel sometimes that's like you hurt yourself being like that. So I was like,
Yes.
okay, I need to like not be like that and be free. I was not as spontaneous as you. I did buy my ticket before, but I bought it just like off of a whim in a way because I had gone to Peru earlier in the year and I was like, oh, I need to buy my ticket. And I was like, oh, didn't I say I was going to do the Camino? I was like, well, let me buy my ticket to France. And that's like how what I did. And then I was like, oh, I probably need to figure things out. Like when I got to Saint Jean is when I got my bed
Yeah.
because I did not even have a place to stay getting there. And I was like, oh, I need the pilgrim
Yeah, me
pass. I
too.
did all of that day. It was like very interesting because I'm usually someone who needs to have everything ready. And I remember when I met someone that he was with me since the beginning, he had everything planned. He knew where he was going to sleep. He knew the things he wanted to see. He read every day, like what goes on in the Camino and what you can see. And I was like, I'm not doing any of that. I'm so sorry. I'm like, because I just need to be free. And this was very important for me in that like that's why I wanted to do it and it was part of it too like I just wanted to feel free and so I did that so I think that's wonderful and I think it's cool because you
Yeah.
kind of went until you couldn't you know and
Yes.
that's a wonderful experience did I didn't ask you did the first half feel different than the second half that you did this year
A lot, a lot. I can tell because maybe because I I went into yes, maybe the second part I knew what to expect,
mm,
so I was ready to okay, don't will not take maybe in the first part I did take um, some plates with me, for example, because I thought that in the albergue they didn't have any,
mm.
so I knew just what to expect. I had less anxious feelings as where will I sleep, where will I eat. So I came prepared, but it was I knew that in the first part I was not going to Santiago at all, and this year I knew that I will be completing. So they were two feelings, different feelings,
That's
different
very
vibes in the Camino. But the dynamics in the way they are all the same. Like you go there alone, you try to stay alone, and you will be adopted in a group of people,
Yes.
which is always like for me Italians, because they recognize you. Oh, you're Italian. Okay, let's work together, and then you go all the way up in one big group. All the same dynamics. You are never alone. You talk to a lot of people, heard a lot of story. You meet people that you don't know, and everybody from seeing you thought that you knew from a lifetime,
Mhm.
which is not true.
Mm.
There are some similar dynamics, but two different Caminos.
Yeah, maybe two different mindsets, right? Because they're very distinct. I think the first one with a rush and you were just like getting your footing and kind of exploring the world and understanding. And then you kind of came to the
Yes,
second one with a bit of maturity and confidence, right? You're like, well, I know what I'm doing. I know what
yes,
I get to complete the thing that I had set out. So it's almost like there's a different feeling there where you can feel like, ooh, and it's a beautiful experience. I think that's wonderful. I'm someone who I like my independence a lot. So it was funny for me how like I was like, oh, like I can't eat dinner alone, I guess. And then I just started like a group of people, but a lot of the people I met in my first half, because I got injured, they left. So I didn't actually end up staying with them. So it was like, oh, and then I had to kind of find like a new group. And that's who I feel like you more met me with because that was the group I then had after that because my first group, a lot of people ended up doing a really long walks in the meseta. So they were doing like 50, 40 kilometers
yeah,
and I couldn't because I had been injured. So I'm like, "Oh, I have to like do the 25 or 26 or 30, but I can't do 50." And so but it's amazing because even then you still find groups and like I knew a lot of people. I always went to say hello to everybody. And like I'm pretty friendly. So I think for me that's what I enjoyed is just getting to experience even a little bit or when we saw in the town or like when you walk you see them and it's such a I feel like you really connect with people on like very quickly and very intimately. I feel like even friends that for example I moved to here where I live 3 years ago and I feel like I connected with people who I had known a week there faster than here. It's taken me 3 years and we still haven't even gone to that point of trust and like where I can feel like, okay, here's my heart. Like I can show it to you fully. And in the Camino, it's like you're like, here's all my guts and here's everything, and it's on the table, and let's keep walking. And then the other person does the same. It's such an incredible
yes,
kind of experience. Okay,
yeah,
so
that's true.
do you have like a significant moment in the second half of your Camino, or like a funny story, or like this one I feel like I'm not really clear on it, but what I just mean is sometimes when you're on the Camino, there's a moment where you're like, wow, like I am learning this, I need to apply this, and this needs to change, or something can happen. People felt like they experienced little mini miracles, or they realized things and they were able to really let things go. Other people just have funny moments, like fell all the time, and people saw me get lost and then they yelled at me. So there's like all those little moments and then they can mean something to you. I don't know if you have anything like that.
Okay, I have two maybe moments that I remember, which is 2 days in the same. There were 2 days near. The first one is when I met you. Actually, it was like the downhill from Ponferrada. No, maybe Fonsebadon. Fonsebadon. Because in Fonsebadon there was like the Cruz de Hierro.
Oh, yes.
You
Yeah.
remember? It was beautiful because we went there at dawn, so it was like a magical experience.
Mm.
Many people left the stone in the Cruz de Hierro. It was really nice. And then it was also funny because in the downhill there were some troubles as one of my group to steal some fruits from there was also the one from your group, the Italian guy
Ah,
we were talking before. One of my groups to steal some fruit from
a
a
tree.
tree. It was like it was stealing, and you can't steal, so you don't do it, guys. So
Yeah.
it's not something you
Recommended.
have to do, but they recommend it. The bottle of water like fell and went straight from in the in the clip.
Oh my
So
God.
we had to like open the door, drink the bell to to the farmer, the poor farmer that
No
we were
way.
stealing the fruit,
That is funny. I can imagine that.
and yes, and asking for the bottle.
Hey, what did he ask you guys what you guys were doing?
No, no, no. He knew, and he gifted us with a chest of fruit.
Oh, that's so
It was really
nice.
funny.
That's so
Yeah, yeah,
sweet.
a lot.
I
And
think
it's also funny because
go ahead.
the day the bottle it was like so mistreated because some an hour before like this guy like left the bottle at the Cruz de Hierro and forgot it and then fortunately there was one of the Italian guys who was
Behind.
like behind, yes, and we called him, and it was right before the bottle, which was there was the Cruz de Hierro and the bottle here, so it was very mistreated that bottle that day.
Poor water bottle. That water bottle went through it. I lost my
Or
walking
what
stick,
about
so
yes.
I can't say anything because I left stuff everywhere.
Oh.
I kept leaving stuff everywhere and I just
uh,
had to give up. I just had to let it go. I think that's something nice though. Like the people who aren't in the Camino, but like they live around the Camino, they're actually really nice. I feel like a lot of them.
yeah,
Like they're
very,
very kind.
very,
It's like
yes,
that you said that they brought then all of you guys apples. I believe that because the people there are just so, I don't know, they're so kind and like loving and like I experienced really well, not always. I did have some moments with some people, but for the most part, the people there are so lovely and they're so kind. So that's very funny. I could see that poor water bottle went through
yeah.
it. And then,
Yes.
see?
And they are kind. They thank you for the Camino. They say thank you to doing this Camino. Where are you going? They talk to you a lot.
Yes. They're always interested. They're like open to a conversation. And I think that's really nice. I don't
Mhm.
know what it's like really in Europe. I live in like the Americas. But sometimes I feel like people don't do that anymore. They don't want to talk to you,
No, no,
you
no,
know. They don't want to
no.
hear
Exactly.
anything. And
Yeah, it's different the Camino. Yes, they don't in other parts of Europe they don't ask you about well sometimes yes but not as much in the Camino. They don't ask you where are you from while you're there. They just ignore you.
mm, yeah. And I think that's actually something, it's like a phenomenon in our world right now because like we're connected, but we're really more isolated in a lot of ways. Because like we're connected, like, hello, I'm talking to you and you're in Italy and I'm in Mexico right now. But at the same time, like with a lot of people, you just don't know how to interact because they're on their phones or they're not present or they're not looking at you and they don't care. And it's something that I noticed like the people cared. Like it was not just us who were walking. They're like, oh, where are you from? And this and that. And like it was like that a lot in the albergues or just places you would pass. And like um I thought that was something really nice. You said there was another moment you were thinking of. Do you want to share that as well?
Well, yes, the next day from we were in Villafranca del Bierzo. It
Mm.
was a beautiful city. One of my favorites because it was really beautiful. There were all these plants of grapes, the river, and we didn't plan to stay there because we wanted to go ahead, but then we were tired, so we stopped there. There were also the musicians, if you remember,
Wait, were
in
you there with
Villafranca.
us that day?
Yes, yes, yes. We met the evening.
Yes, we did. Oh my gosh.
Yes,
Yes, that was such
yeah,
an, I like that place. I really like that place. That walk, I was
yeah.
very
It was
tired getting
beautiful.
there, but it was so beautiful when you went through all the orchards.
Yes,
That was
yes.
beautiful. Yeah. Oh my
And
God.
it was very nice. I'm fond of it because well, while we were at the river, we went there to like swim and put the feet on. and we had I have the nice conversation with one of the people I met in the Camino, which was like uh, we met. I met him like for 1 week before, but we share everything that went on in our lives. So it was like it's something that, as you said, you can't do it with people you met in your city, but in the Camino feels very natural,
Yeah.
and it was a beautiful moment.
Hmm. That's beautiful. I think like there's a bond that's created, right? And was this a person you walked with a
Yes,
lot?
yes, the tall one.
Yeah, okay. Because yeah, I felt that with you
Okay.
guys. It was like you guys really like were listening to each other and understanding each other. That's how I felt with my Italian friend. Like it's very funny because with him, I just told him things that I didn't even tell people that I had been walking with in the beginning. There was something
Yes.
about it where it was like, and I always felt like me and him, I would always tell him we were like brother and sister because we would argue a lot while we were walking. And then like, well, I don't
Yes.
know if all Italians are like that, but he's Italian, I'm Mexican, and a lot of us are like that. So we one day I was like yelling at him and I was like, "Oh my gosh, don't you understand?" And then I just looked at him and he looked at me and then I was like, "Oh, I love you." It was like it's so interesting. Like you
Just
feel so
brothers.
close. I'm like, how am I yelling at this guy? Like I just met him. And I'm like arguing with him about
Yes.
things like I don't need to be arguing with a person with and you can like open your heart. I felt so bad for him because I'm a very emotional person. So almost every day, like I would be crying at some point and he would just be like, "Oh, like it's okay." But I cry a lot. It's very natural for me and he's just like, "Oh, okay." But it felt so I don't know, you feel like home with a person and like just in a and it's really a friend type of way. It's not like you know what I mean? It's like
Yes.
there's not a good word in English for it, but in Spanish it's I prefer how friendship sounds. It's like amistad. There's like a really closeness that you can have with a person and it's beautiful. Like even though you're not saying like, "Oh, we said this," I understand what you're saying. Like sitting there and like just being vulnerable with someone and feeling like they're listening is like such a incredible experience. Okay. I
Yes.
promise we're going to be done soon. Okay. So
No problem.
um, I wanted to ask, are you religious by chance at all, or maybe spiritual or any?
I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. I'm spiritual. I do believe there's something, but I can't define it.
Okay. But you are Italian, so did you traditionally like grow up Catholic? Like, did you do all that kind of stuff or not necessarily?
Uh, I I started, but then I gave up. It was not
Okay.
something that I recognize myself in it.
Yeah, I understand. It's just a question I ask because the Camino of Santiago is like a religious thing, right? It has
Yes,
religious
it is.
origins, so it's just something I asked. It's not like there's a right or wrong answer. That being said, though, right? Even if you're not religious or even if you're not spiritual, although you are, I do think that there's a spiritual component to the Camino. And I kind of
Yeah,
wanted to
very
ask you
important
about
one.
that. How did you feel about that? How did you experience that?
I felt my spiritual side. You know, you feel there's like a different vibe in the Camino.
Hmm.
You feel like there are some places that are important that gives you something. And also when we did like in San Malberge, above all in the mesetas, they were like they did a lot of praying, singing, and it was like a beautiful moment. Even if you're not a religious person, um, it's something that participating in was really beautiful. So it's there's a different spiritual vibe. You can actually feel it.
Yes, I agree. I think I speak about this a lot with a lot of the people because I think, of course, you have to be like open to it. And I think that if you're not open to it, you do yourself a disservice on the Camino because there's just like so much that you can feel if you're just open to it. Because it's like, even if you're not religious, going to the churches, they're amazing. Even if you're not like a spiritual person, just taking a moment to feel the wind or the trees or the nothingness that there is in the Meseta sometimes, like all of that, I think it's just like a spiritual experience in and of itself. Because it's not so much as an emotional thing. It's something that you can feel is outside of you and you're having a contact with it, right? I think at the end of the day, you can choose what you want to name it. Everyone has the right to do that. I'm like a person who became Catholic like late in my life. So of course, like I believe in God and all that kind of stuff, but I'm not unopened or closed off to what other people have to say. And, I asked that a lot because I went thinking that the Camino was like everyone was going to be super Catholic and like I was going to be the weird one, because I don't know a lot. Like I read and I study, but nothing like someone who grew up, in the church. And then nobody was really religious. And like a lot of in
Yes.
my group, I was the only person who was like religious. And so I found that I think it's good to know that if you're going to go to the Camino, you can have a religious purpose within you. That can be if you're looking for God or looking to try to understand the divine or that other power that's outside of you, it's very open. Um, People, I mean, I don't know. I had a good experience. I don't know if other people had negative experiences with religious people that were there or non-religious. I feel like everyone was very open to kind of hear everyone's opinion, or I don't know how you felt about that.
No, it was not something that was something like difficult for me. There were also many religious people that I worked with, and it was something actually nice to also participate in some praying in the church, like in the Osobreiro one. There was a beautiful praying, and or just to wait for one of the people if during the walking we stopped in a church to pray, to have a moment. It was not something difficult to do. And above all, people are also really open-minded. Like
Mhm.
they respect your opinion. They don't impose their opinion on you.
Yeah, I agree. I really the Italian guy we know, he's not religious at all. But I like to go to all the churches. I just like to. I just want to go in there and at least pray or sing or do something. And and he would go in there with me. And at first he would sit outside. And I was like, "Come, I want you to come inside like so that you can hear me sing, not because I think I'm so good at singing, but I just wanted him to like hear me. And then he was like, okay. And then he would start going in there and he's like, okay, but I'm going to sit in the back. He's like, I guess you can pray. And I'm like, it's like a nice thing. And I would tell him, like, what do you do while you're sitting there? And he's like, I mean, I don't know. I just kind of think. I'm like, do you pray? And he was like, I don't know really what that means, but and I think that's what it is. I think you can really have a spiritual experience there. I don't think like you can, well, maybe people go and they like find God and all these things, but I think in the little moments when you experience that, where like there's a peacefulness there, there's a love there, and then you experience it from other people, just this kindness, this compassion. It's like that to me in and of itself is a spiritual experience, but not everyone sees it that way. Some people are very much like, no, I don't know what you're talking about because they're more like science is science and this and this. And I think like if you're open to it, you will have such a otherworldly experience. But you have to really open yourself. I'm someone who's looking for that. I'm like, oh, I'm trying to feel something all the time and learn something and where can I grow and what can I do? And so I feel like, ooh, my phone almost fell. So I feel like a lot of if your mind is there, you'll find it because it's very readily available in the Camino. Okay. I wanted to ask you about, so you talked a little bit about it, like the physical side where like you would consider yourself athletic, right?
Yeah, as
Yeah.
minimum as possible.
Yeah, I think so. I think,
Yeah, yeah.
you go to the
Great.
gym, you do like doing hikes, you walk. You're more
Yes.
of an athletic person. I mean, you're not like a professional athlete or something like that, but you are an
No, no,
active
no, no.
person.
Yes.
And so
Yes. Yes.
I want to ask, how did you feel the physical side? Like, did you do any training? Did you get any blisters? Did you get any injuries? Like, did anything happen?
No, I was really lucky because I didn't have any blisters at all, which is very unusual. Everybody just had at least one blister, but I didn't have any in both of the Camino.
I
I
don't know if
don't
I
know
like you
how
anymore
I
now.
do it. You know, I didn't have any training. Well, like I did many hikes, but in my general life, I love the mountains, so I did the hikes in my own hometown. But I didn't train for the Camino. The first part I did like, okay, let's begin. So I wasn't planning at all. But the blister aspect is something that it's very unusual. You have to expect blister, but I'm really, really lucky. So,
Yeah, you are really lucky. There's
oh,
very
well,
few that I met
yeah,
that had none.
actually, yes, actually, I had one blister, but it was like my feet were always like in pain or something that I didn't feel it, so it was really, really, really small,
Yeah.
and someone pointed at it, but I didn't know it was there, so it was good.
Yeah. I think there's someone in my group that they had one blister the whole time also. And I'm like, I hate you.
Oh, wow.
Versus like me, I
Yes.
had blisters the whole time. The whole time. Since like the second day. I don't know. I feel like I had to suffer for some reason. I think sometimes I had a different experience. I definitely feel like I'm someone who likes to control everything and I like to think that I can do everything. And so I felt like God was trying to humble me. So I fell and I broke things and I kept getting lost and I had all the blisters and I was bleeding and like it was like tough for me the first 2 weeks. And I felt like God was just like humbling me. So then every day that I walked and every day that I got to the place that I would get to, it just felt like a blessing. I just had to let go. I just had to walk. I had bruises. I mean, in Leon, I fell and I broke my glasses.
Oh,
I think you met me with my pink glasses.
no.
These are actually the glasses that I
Yeah.
usually wear, but I fell on my face, broke my glasses, and bruised like all this part of my body. It was like insane. And then it was just yeah, it was crazy. And like but I just feel like sometimes it's like God's like, yeah, so now you have to relax. Now you can't like try to overpush yourself. Now you have to take time with me. Now you have to walk slow. And now you're grateful every day that you get there. I mean, people in the beginning, there was this joke where like they needed to know where Valerie was because they weren't sure if I had made it. Because I would get lost for hours, like 3 hours. Like it wasn't like, oh, I just got lost and like an extra 2 kilometers. No, I'd get lost for like 10 kilometers. I would just be going like, Lord knows where I was going. My gosh. And then, like I would leave at 4 in the morning and I wouldn't get to the town until like 5 in the afternoon. And people were like, have you seen Valerie? Has anyone seen Valerie? And then one person would see me and they would like send it. And they're like, oh, we've seen Valerie. We've seen Valerie. And I was like, oh, okay, thank goodness. I'm like, oh my God. Because it was just, I think I think each person has their own version of that, right? Like you were like, I was just chilling, like maybe a little blister here. You're in pain, you're in pain. It's not hard to do the Camino, but it's not easy, you know?
Yes.
It's not impossible,
Yeah.
but it's not like, oh yeah, whatever. Like, no,
Yes, it's a
you're
one.
going
Yes.
to be tired. Your shoulders are gonna hurt, your back might hurt a little bit, your legs, your feet, you will be tired. I think that's just a natural part of it. Um, And then I like what you also said. I'm going to repeat. You mentioned that you don't really need to be an athletic person to do the Camino. And I agree with that. I think everyone has said that. When you're a little more athletic, I think it's helpful. I do think that a good thing to train for is the backpack. I did not do this, but people told
Yes.
me they trained with weight, like walking around with weight. I did that kind of because I live in the mountains, so I have to walk down to go to the market and I carry everything on my back instead of my rolling. And that's what I was doing, but nothing to do with like the Camino. I mean, I think the whole walk I is maybe 3 kilometers. So it's nothing. I mean, you
Yes.
get done with that by like 7 in the morning in the Camino. So I think the backpack thing is a good idea because I think the walking is fine, but then you're not used to having like that weight. So you have to figure out like how you need to position it so that your back is straight. I feel like that's a whole thing that you end up learning and then like yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, also to organize a good backpack because sometimes you bring yourself to yourself something that you don't use, yeah, something unuseful, or just too many things, so you have to shorten your backpack
Yes. And then sometimes you forget things that you do need. And then you have to
yes
like figure out,
a
okay,
lot.
like now I need to add this stuff to my bag because I didn't know it got cold. So at the end,
Yes, me too.
oh yeah. So
The
did you have to
sleeping
buy
bag
stuff?
I didn't have. No, they one lady in Fossebadon had pity of me and gifted their sleeping bag, one of the sleeping bag from the albergue.
Oh, nice. That's so sweet. See what I mean? Like the people are so sweet. I had to buy pants
Yes.
because I only had like
Okay.
I had shorts and then I had
Short one.
shorter shorts.
Yes.
So then I was like, why is it so
Okay.
cold? And then I had like one long sleeve. I bought a sweater and I ended up buying pants because when you're walking, it's fine. But once you get to the town, it's like freezing. And then I was just like,
Yes.
okay. So I bought like leggings and I bought like a fleece, like one of those fleece, like where they have like the zip here. Cause I was like, I'm freezing. What town was it when I remembered? I was like, I have to buy pants. I can't take it anymore. We were in, I think we're in Galicia at that point. I can't remember. My gosh.
Okay, so the last part, so it was
Yeah.
the last days.
The last
Okay,
couple days,
also great. Maybe
maybe a little
the
bit
first
before.
city.
Because I in El
Okay,
Sobredo, I already
okay.
had my leggings.
Okay, there was Villafranca before Sobreiro.
It was
Also Badon.
one town
Ah.
before. You're so good. I can't believe you remember all that. I don't remember any of the names. My gosh.
No, I remember.
Yeah, it was a little bit before that, I think. It may have been before. Maybe it was in the Meseta because by the end, when I was finishing the Meseta, it was freezing at night. And I
Yes.
just didn't know it was that cold. And like I would use my towel. My towel was my blanket. I looked so sad. I think so many times in the Alberta, I would just be like, just so
No,
cold.
no, me too, me too.
Yeah.
The towel and this one.
Yeah. I would
They
just
were
sleep
like
in
my
all the
sleeping bag.
clothes. It's so funny because I don't know. I just didn't know it got cold like that. So I think that's a good thing to know. Like if you go in September, even if it's just the beginning, it starts to get really cold, like from 4 p.m. till the
Yes.
nighttime.
But the first time that I did, it was in August, and it was really, really hot.
Yeah.
In the night, I didn't. I bought my sleeping bag with me, but I didn't use because it was so hot. I was in the meseta, so I did the meseta the first part.
Yeah.
So maybe it was that.
Yes.
But in September there was so cold, and I came totally unprepared for the coldness.
I thought it was gonna be
So it
hot.
depends on. Yeah, the first part was really hot. So for me, it depends on which one do you go. Because
Yes.
even at night in August, there was so much hot, and it was really difficult to sleep for the climate.
Yeah. And then I don't know if this happens to you, but then some people are like won't let you open the window or they don't want the window to be open. And then it's like
Yes.
I like this. I remember I think it was Puerto Marin and like I opened the window because like in my space, which I don't know if this happened to you, but like I was always with all men. I'm like, how am I always, no matter what albergue I choose, even if I go before, I'm like always stuck with all men, which is okay. But like, I'm just like, oh my gosh. So my section was all men. I was like, I'm not sleeping here without having the window open. I'm going to die. Like half of the guys didn't even shower. Like, and like I know I don't smell great either, but come on. So then I opened the window and then this guy would close it every time. So then I just gave up because I was like, I'm not arguing with him like to keep this window open. But it would be so hot sometimes because I started in August. I started like the 19th. So it was hot that first part, but then luckily by the time I was in the Meseta, which was more like the beginning of September, it was like in the middle. I think that's a really good time to go. If you want to do the whole thing, it's like halfway through August and then you end up like halfway through September. It's good. Just have like a fleece sweater and you need the rain jacket because I don't know if it rained.
Yes.
It did rain for you.
Yes, sometimes, but maybe one day, 1 or 2 days, not so much.
Did you get to Santiago before me? You did, didn't you?
Yes, the day before because I knew that on that day it would rain, so we did 40 kilometers or so to just to get there with the sun.
Crazy. I went when it was raining and I was sick that day. Like after that, I was so sick. It was like my throat, because like we left really early so that we could get there for the, I think it was the 11 o'clock math or 12 o'clock math. So we could go to that one instead of the one at night. We left very early and it was like freezing and raining. And then right when we got there, it finally stopped raining, but it was like so beautiful. It rained for me in my first half as well. So I wasn't like scared of it, but it's good to bring one of those little like light jackets because you never know.
Yes,
And it'll rain all
yes,
day, like all day for some
yeah.
reason. I don't know.
Because
Okay.
if your things get wet, it's the end. It's really the end.
Yeah, I learned that. In
Yeah.
Pamplona, everything got wet of mine. And so I had to wash
Yeah.
everything and dry everything and take everything out. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? So it like I remember that. And then it Santiago, because it rained that day, a lot of the things that I had bought like little postcards and things for prayer. They all got ruined, which was
Okay.
I felt kind of it would suck because I just couldn't bring it to my family because it was just all ruined. But it happens.
Okay.
But okay. There's a lot of experiences that you have while you're on the Camino. You think a lot, you get to meet a lot of people, you learn a lot about yourself and others. Is there any lesson that you feel like, I think it's been a month and a half almost that we finished the Camino. And I don't know if there's a lesson that you felt like you gained from this. You can talk about both parts, right? So maybe there's a lesson you gained in the first one, maybe there's a lesson you learned, oh, sorry, in the second one or combined that now you feel like you're implementing more into your life.
Well, in, I had two lessons maybe. The first one is that I need to slow down things in my life because if you it's a beautiful metaphor if you think about it, the Camino. If you have to do like 800 kilometers and you run, you can't do it at 100 kilometers. You just die before. But if you slow things down, appreciate the things that you see in the path, it's like you can do it and you do it with beautiful views. And the first time that I walked was like running, get there in time, and then I understood that I have to slow things down, walking slowly, appreciate the little things. If there's something beautiful, you have to stop and be there for the experience, and then you arrive at the time that you arrive, and it's something that you can translate in your own life. So you and it's not the end that counts, but it is the way.
Yes.
Is one of the lessons that the Camino taught me. This is the first one. The second one, I think, is that I have to use less my brain, but more my heart, because it started like it because when I first went, was I was not planning. I always plan. I always the rational one. I have to be rational in every way possible, but sometimes you have to feel your heart. You have to take that step that you are afraid to take, and just do it because your heart says it.
Yeah. I like that. That's so sweet. And you feel
Yeah.
like you've been able to kind of implement those things in your life now, maybe a little bit. I know it's only been like a little bit of time, but
Yes, yes, I'm doing it
that's good.
in small ways, like not in
Yeah, yeah.
in big scale, but in small things I do.
Which I think that's when you really know that you really accepted something into your life, right? Because when you do big grand things, I think that's a little bit easier to kind of, in a way, plan for or even just experience. But in those little ways where, like, maybe now when you're walking and you just stop and those little things, those little decisions that you're making to enjoy where you're at, to listen to yourself, like, oh my gosh, what is Valeria thinking? What is Valeria feeling? Should I do this? Should I not? All those things are eventually going to be what changes you. It's like all the little mini decisions. It's not like the big things that you do. It's more the
Right.
everyday. So I think that's really beautiful. Have you read The Alchemist before?
It is the one from Paulo Coelho.
Uh-huh.
Not The Alchemist, but I read The Pilgrimage, the one in Santiago. The Pilgrimage.
Yeah,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
The Alchemist is just that's the whole point of that book is your first lesson that the journey is really what's more precious than the destination. Um,
Yeah.
how did you feel going into Santiago? I'm curious. Tired?
It was like something that, yeah, very tired, but it is something that was like I waited it not for a month, but for a year because I wanted to be there last year. And last year I had to give up on people that I met. I wanted to get there with them, but I had to restart to do all the Camino, to wait to go there to Santiago. It was like, oh, now I'm here. It was magical. I didn't thought the basilica was the church was so good. It was really beautiful. I just stayed 2 hours watching it in the
Oh,
sunset at night. It was really beautiful. I don't know.
oh, wow.
And then the atmosphere with everyone, every I met all the people that I met on the Camino and that sometimes I lost during the way because maybe I went ahead or I stopped and they went ahead. So everyone was there was really great.
Wow. That sounds so beautiful. That sounds beautiful. Just the way you
Yes.
painted it. Like I can
Yeah.
picture it. I think yeah. And that I feel like that must have felt really incredible for you too, because you're like, I had to wait. It's been a year. Like I want to be here.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's really
Yes.
wonderful. I think for me, what was funny was, I mean, I was happy to get there. I cried, but like, and what I liked is I don't think you ever seen me cry, which is funny, but I'm like almost everyone who's seen me like walk, I have you?
No, I didn't.
Oh yeah. Because everyone would see me. Because even sometimes when I'd be walking by myself, I would just be crying. And then like the people who see me just got used to it. They'd be like, ah, Buen Camino, Valerie, see you later. Because it was just like something that I did all the time. That's why it makes me laugh. Um, but I think for me, I don't know if it's because of the turbulence I kind of had in the beginning. But once I got to Santiago, I mean, it was beautiful and I loved it. And I sat in the front like the day before I left to kind of watch people come in. And it was nice because we all decided to walk in together. And I was so excited. Like I did feel that excitement. But it also, for me, like I felt like I can't compare that day to any other day because all those other days, like that you talked about in Villafranca, with Villafranca, where we went to the music, that day to me was also incredible. So like when we got there
Yes.
and we got to see these things, like everything was so incredible. And then like, walking there, and then even the day I got to Pamplona, because I remember that day because it was raining so hard. Even that day was so wonderful. And then the other days, I remember Carrion de Condes. Did you go to see the Gregorian chant or the music? I don't know. It was there, I think.
No,
And like
no, I
all of that for me was like, I like that. I tend to do that. And I think I don't know if it's a maturity thing or just something that I've worked on in my life. I really like to experience and be really happy wherever I'm at. Because if I keep thinking like, oh, when I get to Santiago is when I'm gonna feel accomplished, or when I get to this, that's when I'm gonna feel it. I don't think it's bad to have the desire. You should definitely have a desire for something bigger. But like if you can just enjoy where you're at and everywhere, everything is amazing. And that's how I really felt that like to me, I don't know if maybe it did, and maybe it felt good for me because I felt like I completed it and I was happy to complete it. Were you a lot of people were like, oh, I don't want this to end. I wish this could go on forever. Did you feel like that?
yes. Yes, I did. I
Uh,
did. When I came back in my personal life, it was like, oh, I want to just to walk every day, to wake up, walk, arrive where I arrive. It doesn't matter where, and then do it already the the other day. But
so did you get the
it's
Camino Blues? Have you ever heard of that?
no, what it is.
So the Camino blues is what they call like after you finish the Camino, like a lot of people feel very sad. Like they feel a little bit depressed.
Uh,
Yeah.
a
How
lot.
did you deal with that?
I don't know. Maybe the mountains are just something that helps me very much in my own life. When I have days free, I just go there, and it's something like similar to Santiago. I just walk. I don't know where I'm going. I don't. I just walk and see sights and be with myself, or maybe I'll do it with someone and enjoy the time together. So that is the one that's something that helped me. But it was like something that was really hard for me because I just wanted to do it every day, uh, being in nature, talking to people with some um, talking about things that you don't talk you don't tend to talk
Right.
about some of the arguments, but it helped maybe just as I went back, people that know me just asked me all the time about the Camino. So I had so many stories I just share with everyone, and it was something that helped me.
Oh, that's nice. I know a lot of people felt it was very hard for them to like come back to normal life. I felt like I cheated because I kept traveling and then I went to Rome. So I was still
Okay.
like, everything's new, everything's so fun, you know. So I don't know if maybe that helped me. And then I went to visit my parents. So I think like you said, having that community that wanted to hear your stories and that gave you the opportunity to share. And then I think that sometimes what we realize on the Camino is really what our soul or our mind or body, whatever part you want to choose, what it's really craving is like this freedom and this just like I don't like this kind of like where you can unattach yourself from everything. And I think you said, okay, well, I can't do that every day, but if I go to the mountains, then I can experience that there. And so finding
Yes,
those times where you let yourself do that, I think is really important because, yeah,
it is
I think you need it. Like everyone needs it.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just do it in my personal life every in every time of the year, but doing it every day and doing just some days of the week is really different. It's two ways, and also to have just all the things you're just comfortable with everything while in the Camino. You had to sleep in with other people that maybe just snorted a lot. There were so many things that you were not comfortable. It was something really different. You have to when you go back, you have to just getting used to the comfort again.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think maybe now I'm gonna, because I just recently came back to my house. Because I always travel for long periods. So now I'm home and like I'm like, oh, I feel like now maybe I'm gonna feel it because now I am alone. I live alone and I have to like clean my house and get all that things together because I've been gone for a few months. So it's just like maybe now I'm going to feel it more. But I feel like doing this is something nice because we get to relive that experience and like talk about our those feelings. And I don't know, I hope you enjoyed it. I do want to tell you thank you, Valeria, for taking the time to do this because time is very valuable. And I really know that I know you're busy and everyone's busy, but thank you for taking the time to talk to me and being open and vulnerable. I think I knew that we would get along, and that's probably why I liked you as soon as I met you. We just didn't get that opportunity. So I'm really happy that now today, we've been able to talk about it and you can kind of feel like you're on the Camino again a little bit, like that
Yes.
openness and that love. So thank you a lot for that. Um, and I really like what you said. I think I'm even gonna probably think about that today and like have that in my mind. Those lessons that you learn because they're so important just for anybody, to really just enjoy where you're at and slow down. And once you slow down, you can enjoy it. And life is just so beautiful, even in the mundane, even in the things we don't like, even when you don't get to be surrounded by nature. There's actually so much there for us to appreciate. So I think that's a wonderful thing. Okay, last thing.
I
Or I don't know
thank
if you
you.
want to say anything.
I thank you for your time and to do it with me this conversation. I just need to thank you.
You're welcome. You can always talk to me. Um, and last question for this, and then
Yes.
I'll stop the recording and we can keep chatting. But okay, if someone wanted to do the Camino, okay, what would be your piece of advice?
Just do it. Uh, Even if you just like I did, even if you don't know everything, you're just afraid to go alone, or you just do you plan something that will be wrong. It's okay because on the way you're figuring out. Many people that ask me about the Camino, how did you do it? Every time said to me, no, I will never do it because there were many kilometers. I'm too afraid to walk alone. I don't have someone to do it with. And I always said to them, just do it. And on the way, everything will be all right. You'll find some people. If you need company, you'll find a good old lady that will gift your sleeping bag if you don't have it. So don't worry.
I love that. I
It's
think that's
really,
true.
it's really just do it, do it, and everything will be fine.
You know, that's what everybody says. Like, I mean, they always say a little bit something. They're like, just do it. Like, I love that
Yes,
because it's so
just do it.
true.
Yes,
Just do
but no one just listen to you. Everybody just said, no, no, I'm too afraid. It's not something for me. There are many kilometers, but it's something that then you figure it out. I don't think that no, yes, I met some people, but the majority of people were like alone.
Mhm.
They left alone
I
and
was alone.
they were not. You were around. Ah, okay. I thought that you maybe just knew someone before, so you were alone. I didn't understand.
Yeah, so no. I know because people saw me with the same people over and over again, but I was alone. I had started alone. I and I'd say that I think I like what you said because I think the Camino provides what you need at the
Yes.
end of the day. Because like it's so weird how nice people are. And then it's funny because I'm like that a lot in my natural life. I want to help everybody and like, oh, what are you doing? Can I help you? Da-da-da. And it's so natural there. Like I think sometimes in my regular life, people find it strange or odd that I'm so like trying to be helpful, I guess. Versus like in the Camino, it's like, oh yeah, I have some cotton or I have some Vaseline or here, I guess you need this or that or they're just willing to help each other figure it out. And I think that's one of the beautiful things of the Camino. Um, well, thank you so much. I think for me, one of my lessons was learning to be loved in any way. I think I've always I didn't really mention that, but it's just something that I dealt with. So I felt like you showed me kindness and I just want to thank you for that. And I'm gonna go ahead and